Can you be more beautiful on less of a budget? I think yes. I want to talk you through where I'm still spending money and where I'm spending hardly any money so that you can see how I'm using my smaller budget but still getting the same results, if not better. Let's start with skincare. I spend my money on Botox and injectables. I cannot frown very well at all. I used to get Botox and buy expensive skincare. What I've stopped doing is the expensive skincare. Now, my mother, when she stayed with me, she left a spare bar of Dove Sensitive Beauty Bar soap. And it was just sitting in its little cute box. And I thought to myself, can I wash my makeup off with a bar of soap? Now, the reason why that was a necessity that day was because I had run out of my makeup remover. And previously I had switched out my expensive makeup remover. It was a Ren cleansing lotion. I switched it down to a Nivea cleansing lotion, and then I saw this bar in my cabinet and I thought, can I use Dove soap to take off my makeup? And it turns out you can wash your face with it. And the way that the bar has been designed is it's actually quite a good makeup remover. I use a sensitive one, not the normal one. It's basically about maybe $2 or $3 per soap. And I would say it lasts me about 2 months. So I'm washing my face very cheaply. As far as moisturiser goes, I no longer use a very expensive Clinique moisturiser at night. I use Nivea. So I use the traditional Nivea cream moisturizer and I slug it on my face at nighttime, and I go to bed. I wake up in the morning and my skin has eaten up all of the moisturizer and it just looks so happy and like it's glowing. What I do use is an expensive moisturizer in the morning. So I use my Clinique Dramatically Different moisturizer. That is a consistency that I prefer under makeup, but at nighttime, my expensive night creams have been swapped out for a very cheap Nivea $5 blue tin. Now, a friend had come back from holiday and had bought me a very sweet pack of goodies, and inside this was a soap holder. It's like a flax or muslin natural soap holder, and you put your soap inside it, and then you put the soap under the water in this little bag, and then you scrub yourself with it. And I've been doing that for years. I stopped using my very expensive L'Occitane body oil wash, and I switched to using artisan soaps, and it became the best experience, honestly, as a tourist, because you know when you go into like a tourist place and they have soaps that you can buy and they smell so nice. I always thought they looked really nice, but I'm just not a soap person. I became a soap person, and then when we became homeowners, I thought to myself, what about those cheap soaps that you see in like packs of 9 at the supermarket? Is that going to be as good as the $12 per bar that I'm currently buying? And it is. This bag soap holder thing is an amazing exfoliant, and I get keratosis pilaris on the back of my arms, and my arms have been so much better since just using palm olive milk and honey soap in a natural soap bag. For 9 bars of soap, it might have been $10. I think one of those soaps lasts me about a month and a half or maybe 2 months. So we're getting really cheap here, and to be honest, I feel much cleaner than when I use the L'Occitane body oil wash. Go figure. Now let's get on to hair. So as you know, hair is my thing, and I really do recommend salon products. But I want to share with you a conversation which I had with one of my first amazing hairdressers, Christy, about 15 years ago when I just started getting into using salon quality products. And I asked her, if you were in a pinch, I probably didn't say it like that, I probably would have asked, if I can only afford to buy a shampoo or conditioner from you, which one should I get? And she said, you should buy the shampoo because the supermarket ones are incredibly stripping. And I think in a lot of cases that is true, but I'm going to tell you what I think, which is I will not swap out my Pureology Superfood mask for anything. That is my conditioner forever, hands down for the rest of my life. I'm not changing. But I found a hack. Now, it's quite a hilarious hack. It's the Sunsilk 2-in-1 shampoo. So, my thought on the 2-in-1 Sunsilk shampoo is because it's designed to condition and shampoo your hair at the same time, it doesn't actually strip the hair too much. And I've been using it for 2 weeks now. And to be honest, I'm pretty impressed. Now, I will caveat that by saying I'm dealing with a little bit of dandruff at the moment, but we are changing in the seasons, and I do deal with dandruff at this time of the year anyway. Now, this shampoo is $3. I will never swap out my styling products though. The reality is I do think you need good quality styling products, and the ones that I use, I just know work really well for my hair. I have tried cheaper styling products and I do not like them. I feel like you really can tell the difference when you're using salon quality styling products. My hair just dries better, it's smoother, it's softer. I'm not changing those. If I can swap in a $3 shampoo and I feel like it does a really similar job, then that's a pretty good saving. And if I don't notice the difference when I continue with the rest of my styling products, that's a really good saving and my hair feels the same. I do think that you can get away with cheap mascara. I'm not convinced that expensive mascara is always worth the money. And the reason why is because, for example, L'Oreal is a really big brand and it owns a lot of other brands. It owns Lancome. I love the L'Oreal Hypnose Mascara by Lancome. However, I also love the L'Oreal Paradise Mascara, which is something that you can get from a pharmacy. Now, one thing I will never stop spending my money on is injectables. My Botox is a very big part of what makes me feel and look my best. It's been something I've been doing since I was 25, and I do prefer a more lifted, frozen look. I have Fitzpatrick 1 skin and I live in the southern hemisphere. I am in a place where my biology and my genetic evolution is not designed to be in. I hope that makes sense. I'm not designed to be here. But I am. I have a New Zealand accent because I'm from New Zealand and I live in Australia. There is no ozone here. I would do wear sunscreen, but my skin suffers. Botox is the best way that someone like me with thin Fitzpatrick 1 skin is able to slow down the aging process, and I'm not getting rid of that. I get my Botox and injectables done at a dermatologist's office by an amazing nurse, and now all my friends go and see her because frankly she does amazing work. She has looked after me for 4 years now and I just love how she makes my face look, frankly. Now, speaking of other things that I spend money on, I do spend money on my makeup. For my skin type, I'm better off when I buy a more expensive foundation because I'm in this very neutral, warm category that cheaper makeup brands just don't seem to deal with as well. NARS foundation just looks amazing on me, and because it's so well matched to my skin, I don't have to blend it down my neck. When you have a really good match of your foundation, you can use it really sparingly. You don't have to blend it down your entire décolletage. Now, a really good way that you can make that last longer is if you apply your makeup with your fingers. So I have recently swapped to using my fingers to apply my foundation, and now my brush isn't eating up my foundation. I will say that on super acne prone skin or on someone who's dealing with a lot of cystic acne, that might not be the best option depending on how clean your brushes are. Now, another area where I spend money is on lipstick. I swear by Chanel lipsticks. I pretty much don't wear any other brand. I just don't trust other brands. I don't like it when a lipstick wears off and starts to look funny. When it comes to these Chanel moisturizing lipsticks, I know when I put it on, it's going to wear off so evenly that I'm not going to look bad and I'm not going to feel like a clown who's got 3 different lip colors going on because I haven't looked at my face in 3 hours. Since I'm talking about lips, I want to talk to you about my nighttime lip balm. I use lanolin oil. Lanolin comes from sheep's wool And it's basically like a Vaseline, but it's not obviously made out of petroleum. It's made out of the oil that coats sheep's wool. I have a big tub of this, and instead of using an expensive lip treatment at nighttime, which is what I previously used to use, I used to use the Laneige lip mask. Now I use lanolin oil, and I prefer how my lips feel in the morning. They are so moisturized. So yes, I buy an expensive lipstick, but I have a very cost-effective lip balm or lip mask at nighttime. Now, the next thing where I save money, I'm not going to recommend for everyone. I haven't found a hairdresser in Melbourne that I trust yet, now that my hairdresser has left. I'm cutting my own hair with my sewing scissors in my bathroom. The reason I do this is because, one, I'm going to be donating it at some point in the future, so I just keep on top of anything that's looking super dead. Two, I haven't found anyone I can trust. Three, I trust myself. I trust myself to do a good job, and when you have really long hair, I mean, my hair is down to my hip bones. It's really easy to tell if I'm doing it well or not, or if I'm doing it in a straight line because I'm holding it so low when I do it. I also cut my husband's hair. And I also groom my own dogs. I just feel very comfortable with my hands. I'm also a sewer. In the long hair community, we are so traumatized from hairdressers taking off too much hair that you'll find a lot of women with really long hair, they do their own trims. I think it's quite common. Just make sure your scissors are sharp. Otherwise, you're causing issues for yourself. Speaking of hair, my Muck Styling Curl Stick. I don't use a Dyson, I don't use the Shark, these new brushes that everyone's coming out with. The only thing that could be viewed as expensive is my GHD, but my GHD is an original GHD, which is about 20 years old. You can buy those on Facebook Marketplace for like $30 when people are getting rid of them, and they're still really good. They built them to last back then. The other thing that I use is a VS Sassoon hairdryer. I think that hairdryer was about maybe $120 or $130 when it was first bought, but I've had that one for 5 years. And my Muck Curl Stick, I bought off Facebook Marketplace for $40. I think honestly, when it comes to hair styling tools, they are so gimmicky. Most people buy them with intentions of having the best hair of their life, and then they suck at it. And then they sell it on Facebook Marketplace, and that is your time to shine. Get a VS Sassoon hairdryer, get a Muck Curl Stick for $40, and get a GHD for $40. Bob's your uncle, you're using exactly what I use, and my hair goes viral all the time for how long and healthy and well styled it is. I don't have it out today, I'm in a little bit of a bun situation, but I'm just saying, you don't need expensive tools. The last thing I want to say on beauty is at-home eyebrow and eyelash tinting. I feel very comfortable doing my brows at home. I know some of my clients do and some of my clients don't. If you have thin brows and you want to make the most of them, do them at home. I used to pluck eyebrows at boarding school. I basically was so girly, so young, and felt so confident. I would just have people lie in like on my bed and I just go at their eyebrows. And I did a pretty good job. I think there was only one time I did a bad job where someone's mother ended up coming to the boarding school and thought her eyebrows looked so terrible. She took them to a salon to get fixed. But maybe I gave too much of an arch. Who knows? Who knows? I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, I just do my eyebrow tinting at home. I've had them done professionally. I've seen how they do it. I've watched tutorials. I do it at home. I probably save about $40 on my eyebrows every single time I do them myself. The kit costs $20 and you get about 12 uses out of it. So you do the math. It's really good for your budget. And I mean, I have to do my eyebrows and put makeup in them every morning anyway. It just means I don't have to do as much work in the morning. It probably saves me about 2 minutes in total on my eyebrows just by having the hair darker. So therefore, it saves product. And I use a Chanel brow pencil. Last but not least, secondhand clothing. Now, I really should do a full video on how I approach secondhand clothing and buying and thrifting and Facebook Marketplace and eBay, etc. This top is actually a really good example of that. This top was thrifted from a local Sacred Heart charity shop, and this belt was thrifted from a St. Vincent's in Australia. And this one is actually a Kennelson cord belt. It's the most beautiful belt, and it's actually my best buy ever. This belt I bought for $10. This is a designer belt. It is either crocodile or alligator, and these retail between $1,500 and $5,000. It is the most beautiful belt, and this is the highest value item I have ever picked up from a charity shop. It just blows my mind. But yeah, there you go. There's the stamp. Wild. And it fits my waist perfectly. And now for this top. So this top is from Kokai. I think I probably paid either $8 or $12 for it. It is a top that would generally retail for around $60. So it's not a super high quality top, but it's a really good color match to my eyes. And the way that I approach color analysis is I say, if it's not in your palette, but it matches your eyes, you can buy it. And this, if I get really close, is a pretty good match to my outer iris. So I took it home with me. And I do think that buying secondhand is a really great way that you can get colors that aren't in fashion anymore or just aren't in the current trend cycle, and really improve your ability to shop for your color analysis. Now, I do color analysis as part of my business, and I do recommend that you shop secondhand and that you look secondhand for items in your palette. Frankly, because your palette isn't always in trend. It might be a year for the autumns, it might be a year for the winters, it might be a year for the springs. Sometimes your season just doesn't have anything good in the shops, but there was a time where it was, and all of those items are in charity shops or on Facebook Marketplace just waiting for someone to pick them up. And that's the end of the video. Those are all of my tips. So I hope that you have had a fun time learning how you can save some money. So as you can tell by how I spend my money, I've got my little list here. I spend my money on really high impact items or high impact services that make a really big difference to my overall presentation. I don't spend money where you can't tell, and it's about as simple as that. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I will see you in my next one, and feel free to subscribe. I can't believe it. We have over 5,000 subscribers now, which is wild. So I'm very grateful to have you all here, and I'll see you in my next one. I've received that. Okay, bye. Okay, but seriously, how good, right? It's just the best. The thing about these tops though is as soon as you do that, you just have no control over them. You know, they end up looking like this. You just have to do this the whole time. You just can't lift your arms.